And thank you, Greg.
Now, let me just
Bravo,
say
Greg!
Yeah,
this. My son has given me the argument that a theater degree is totally useless. Let's be honest.
Speak to that, Brian.
Let me take a section of that.
Yes.
Having labored 17 years to achieve one,
You're the perfect person to speak to this.
I have held more positions than the Kama Sutra in my career and have done many things, as all of you have. Think about why the hell did they let us lose this stuff? But you just watch it. We'll be serving you fries with that later. And I'm trying to vamp right now so that young Greg can get out of costume and rejoin us. But we're about to be delighted by
We
it.
can go ahead.
I am. I'm segueing.
I like it. I always thought that meant seed.
Segway's a little bit.
Yeah, that's that little thing you were on.
Well, that's food.
That's family.
No wonder share no problem. But
Extend.
we're going to have a little treat for you. You may understand that our man of the hour here, Tommy Nichols, has recently had a one-man production up on the boards. And here are some selections from Same. And he's going to delight you now, so shut the fuck up.
Especially Gary.
Gary's stuff. All right.
You've been very good. Whoa. You have really good. That really scares me.
Keep it up.
So, I did this show called Songs from My Life because I once heard Liza Minnelli say in a concert that some of her best friends in her life had been songs. And I could truly say that throughout my life, musical theater has been my therapy. Songs have been friends when I couldn't find my friends, before we had Facebook, before we had cell phones. So I'm just going to share a couple songs with you. And this first one, these are two songs I did in the show. This one was about mine and Laura's wedding day. Now, some of you, even tonight, Charles Perry came up to me and said, Tommy, I'm so glad to see you, but I'm confused. When I knew you in college, you were like so gay. And he didn't say so gay, just gay.
Not so.
And I said, I know, that is confusing. In 1985, when AIDS started to hit, I got very terrified and ran into the arms of God. And the only person in New York City I knew who went to church was Laura Stammers. I avoided her up until the point I got in trouble because I was embarrassed by her being one of the born-again Christians. Colin, Gary, Danny Krupp, all these guys that had become radical for Jesus. But now when I got in trouble, I cried out for help, and I felt like I should call this girl Laura. And I called her up and I said, could I go to church with you? And she said she nearly passed out when it was me, of all people. You know, she figured it was me inviting her to the latest party at Doug Lotus and Keith Miller's house, you know, a theater party or whatever. And I said, can I go to church with you? And she said, sure. And Matthew Patton, who I was sleeping with at the time, heard me on the phone and said, can I go too? And I said, no way, this is my salvation. But I knew even then that probably wasn't the right attitude. So we both came to Living Word and church in New York City, and we just threw ourselves into God. Matthew went away right after that, got in the show, got married, and has a beautiful daughter, Eleni. He sends his love. He was really, really, really trying to be here tonight. But in 1987, you know, after being in church for all those years, I got really committed, and I believe that, you know, what I was hearing, what I was understanding from the Bible was I couldn't be gay anymore, I couldn't love musical theater anymore, I couldn't do anything that I liked. If it was Jesus, it had to be the cross, and if it was the cross, it had to be hard, and it had to be what I didn't want. So I was embracing all of this life that I thought would make God happy. And one of those things was getting married. Laura came to me one day after church and said, will you, I'm in love with you. And I said, praise the Lord, sister, I love you too. And she said, no, I mean, I'm in love with you. And I was like, oh my God. Not being gay is one thing, but like going forward in the other direction is a little bit much. And over time, though, I came to think, you know, why not? She's a beautiful woman. She's great. And, you know, she said later that of the two gay guys that had come into the church, me and Matthew, he was the one, if he had stuck around, she would have liked to marry. But that's a whole other story. I'm working it out in therapy. It's fine. She was joking. Sort of. I mean, let's face it, he was very good looking. So anyway, we got married. I asked her to marry me. She said yes. 1987, we got married. Some of you were there. Who was at my wedding? Raise your hand. So the wedding was beautiful. I'm kind of ashamed now to admit I sang 2 songs at my own wedding. But the wedding night... Okay, I'm not ashamed. On my wedding night at the Plaza Hotel, October 17th, 1987, I was 28 years old, and I had never had sex with a woman.
Oh, boy.
I mean, we actually waited till the wedding night.
Oh.
And I was there in the Plaza Hotel in that bathroom. Laura was out in her beautiful lingerie in the bed waiting for me. I was in the bathroom in the little red silk boxer shorts that my Christian brothers had given me on my bachelor party.
Wink, wink.
And I was terrified. I really didn't know what waited for me outside that door. But I stood up in faith, and I opened that door, and like Peter stepping out of the boat and walking on water, I headed for that bed. This song is about that. Here we go. All right, picture it. Coming out of the room, bathroom door, Plaza Hotel.
Red boxers.
Yeah. Never had sex with a woman. Pardon me, miss, but I've never done this with a real, live girl. Straight off the farm with an actual armful of real, live girl. Pardon me if your affectionate squeeze fogs up my goggles and buckles my knees. I'm simply drowned in the sight and the sound and the scent and the feel of a real live girl. Oh, I've seen photographs and facsimiles that have set my heart off in a whirl, but nothing can beat getting swept off your feet by a real, alive girl. The dreams in your bunk don't compare with the hunk of a real, alive girl. Speaking of miracles, this must be it. Just when I started to learn how to knit, I'm all in stitches from finding what riches the waltz can reveal with a real live girl. Okay, I have one other song. Yeah. Thank you. So, we got married, and I got ordained into the ministry. And in 1990, my daughter Caitlin was born. 1993, my son Max was born. 1995, my son Harry was born. And I was asked to become the pastor full-time of the church. And the pressure became really intense, and I started to really drink a lot because, truth be told, I was really pushing down who I really was. And I felt like that's what God wanted, and somehow miraculously I got to a point where he was like, dude, I never really asked you to do that. I love you.
Amen.
I made you. I like you the way you are.
Absolutely.
And one thing that has remained constant in my life ever since then is when I've been high, God is there. When I've been in a horrible place, Alcoholics Anonymous, depression, I found God is in the darkest places. And all I can imagine is what it would be like not to have him. And that's what this song from Roar of the Grease Paint is what I sang as the character Cocky at the end of the first act. Where Cocky is realizing if he doesn't have God, he doesn't have anything. And it's amazing now looking back that I sang that not knowing what the hell I was singing about. But now it really means something to me. So here it is.
Yes.
Who can I turn to when nobody needs me? My heart wants to know, and so I must go where destiny leads me. With no star to guide me, and no one beside me, I'll go on my way, and after the day, the darkness will hide me. And maybe tomorrow I will throw off my sorrow, beg, steal or borrow my share of laughter. With you I could learn to, with you on a new day. But who can I turn to if you turn away? Sorry. I was trying to increase the volume. It's better to not take things into your own hands and let God do it, right? I'll throw off my sorrow, beg, steal or borrow my share of laughter. With you I could learn to, with you on a new day. And maybe the dark will come all at last and carry me away. And maybe tomorrow I will find what I'm after. I will throw off my sorrow. I'll beg, steal or borrow my share of laughter. With you I can learn to, with you on a new day. But who can I turn to if you turn Thank you.
That was a lot to share with us, okay? But I want you to know, as you went through all of this, we all loved you just the same. And here's your pepperoni roll.